ancient cry. The core of this land is crying out. Ancient songs, ancient songs.
Hidden wounds and buried anointings deep, concealed in the underbelly of the land.
Breathing on an ancient, shriveled heart.
Darganfod allweddau colliedig.
A prodigal nation lifts its head and looks.
The father returns to the father's house in the father's land.
I am restoring the childhood of the nation.
Wildfire revival.
Tân gwyllt y dwyf.
This time I am not coming for 100,000, but for a nation.
Glory flowing like molten gold to the places of least resistance.
A nation transformed for the transforming of the nations.
Torch the wells. Run.
The message, my presence, and the poor.
Wales, a small stone set in the bride's engagement ring.
Cenedl cyn amser.
A nation before time.
Listen to the sound. Place your ears to the ground.
Wales, a nation of 3 million, is smaller than many cities. At this time, some cities, some communities in different nations are being turned around by the reality of Jesus. Is it possible that this nation could be transformed? Every area of national life affected?
Across the world, many are praying for Wales. There's a recognition of an incredible heritage here, deep wells of faith.
Standing in Velligore, Llanelli, by the well where hundreds of people were baptized during the 1904 and 5 revival. Today the well is dry.
In its earliest history, Wales was an apostolic nation, birthing a mission movement which reached into northwestern Europe.
It is time again for Europe and the 10th window. The children of the past, moves of God, are come back to help Wales stand once more.
It was also a house of prayer. There are over 600 towns, villages and hamlets in Wales prefixed with the word Llan. And the word Llan speaks of a settlement built around a prayer cell. Place names beginning with the word tre reflect language of 6th century monasticism, places like Trefrw or Treherbert, for example.
Llantwit Major, or Llanilltyd Fawr, named after the 5th century Celtic saint Illtyd. Tradition says that here was one of only 3 places in early Britain that practiced continuous prayer and worship.
Is it possible for a whole nation to become a house of prayer? Can prayer, in its many forms and textures, once again be the very breath of this land?
Sound of the Lord. Sound of the Lord.
At this time, Wales is emerging politically, culturally, economically, and socially. But what about spiritually?
Any spiritual awakening is not finding its way to the church. Only 5% of the nation are Christians. The cry of the 95% speaks of our irrelevance.
If we carry on as we are, as we have always done, then we should expect no change, except an increasing deafness.
Have we heard this cry? The cry of the youth, the children, the poor and the broken. Creation's cry.
The place I live is it's a big council estate, and I feel there's a lot of anger in there and bitterness from maybe things that's happened in the past, and really I'd like to see Jesus come in and just change the atmosphere there.
Hoffwn i weld Dduw yn symud yn yr ardal, hoffwn i weld Dduw yn symud yn fysgol, hoffwn i weld fy ffrindiau yn ddwyn Cristnogion a yn dod i adnabod Duw a'n byw bywyd tuag at y nefoedd. Hoffwn i weld ffigurau ethryliad yn mynd lawr. Hoffwn i weld diwygiad arall yn Llanelli a trwy Cymru i gyd. Hoffwn i weld Duw yn defnyddio'r pobl ifanc. Yn y diwygiad nesaf, hoffwn i weld Duw yn symud trwy'r wlad i gyd a'r plant a'r pobl ifanc reit yn canol e.
Well, I was gone anyway, and I seen the light. I felt warm, and I seen hands, and I feel that God was telling me it's not my time, and to come back. And my mother went in at the same time, and she found out that she had lymphoma, and I asked if there was a God, and I pleaded with him to help me, and he just filled my body and just lifted me up, and I felt as if he was walking in my footsteps, and he's turned me upside down and inside out, which he have, and it's such a lovely feeling. I just love it.
Jesus is my friend.
Mae Duw wedi llyfaru'n ei air yn dywedyd ar y graig hon yr adeilad y fe eglwys a ffyrdd uffernus gorchfegadi. Ac mae Joel y proffwyd wedi dywedyd y tywalltaf ysbryd ar bob cnaw yn y dyddiau diwedda. Felly, yr ydym yn disgwyl am ymweliad dwyfol bod Duw yn tywallu ysbryd mewn rhyw fodd arbennig ac bod yna ddiwygiad arall yn torri allan yn ein blydd ni. Fel cenedl, rydym wedi cael yn andrydeddu ar hyd y canrifoedd, ac felly rydym yn disgwyl am ymweliad arall, Duw yn tywallu ysbryd ar bob cnaw.
If we want a radically different outcome, we may have to risk radically different solutions. Shapes of church born out of truth, connected to the cry of the lost, the cry of creation. Church community in communities. Church without walls.
Amazing love, amazing love, amazing love, amazing love, amazing love, amazing love, amazing love.
New nets for new harvests, placed alongside established nets, visible, multicoloured. Nets so finely woven into the texture of the culture that they are barely seen.
What does it mean for the church, which is his body, to be the fullness of him who fills everything in every way?
What does it mean for him to fill the workplace,
the prisons,
the media,
gypsy sites,
healthcare,
Education,
rural poverty,
the arts?
What does it mean for there to be a centre of life in every family, in every village, for rural communities to be as impacted as every town and city? What does it mean to be an influence at the nation's gateways, in business, government, language and culture? It is an adventure we are already late for. In cutting new paths, we may discover older ones. In re-evaluating principles, we may find a fresh connection to His Word, His Spirit and His world. Connection with the discipleship that releases rather than controls, empowers rather than contains. Connection with a discipleship with mission at its heart. It's time to see a fresh standing, a new mobility and permissioning of 200,000 raised up to be releasers of others. One for every 15 of the population, north, mid and south, in cities and villages in every area of life. It would mean a nation transformed, salt and light as a reality, not just words on a page. Is 200,000 a God-given number? No, it's just a target. It could just take a Gideon's army, a grassroots movement, a releasing of teams. How could this happen? What would it mean? You probably hold some of the keys. The keys to a harvest that is already golden. Keys to a harvest that Jesus is truly Lord of. The keys to a nation transformed for the transforming of other nations are in the house.